Hello, how are you guys doing today? Sorry I could not meet you in person, but Blackboard is down and we are not able to log in. At least I am not able to log in. A lot of other teachers and stuff the internet's being super slow. Apparently there's a Verizon outage, and that's what the Fairfax County Public School System uses. So it's down for today. So we are going to have an asynchronous class. Okay, so we're going to watch this video and I'm going to show you guys what we're going to learn today. I always tell you guys what the national day is. Today is National Peanut Brittle Day. So if you like peanut brittle, today is the day for you. All right, first thing, remember we have homework. Homework I always give to you guys Tuesday, and it's due Monday. So the homework is posted on Google Classroom, and it's due Monday the 1st, February 1st by 5 p.m. And it's the same two things we always have, the Go Formative and the Ed Puzzle. And they're both posted on Google Classroom. Okay? If you need help with this homework, you can always come to Win Time, and I will be in there to help you. Okay, the good thing about Go Formative is you can submit it multiple times, you can fix your mistakes, and you can get a better score. That's the best thing about it. All right, so what are we going to do today? Today we're going to determine the slope and y-intercept from a graph so that I can write an equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so like the last couple classes, we had an equation and we graphed it ourselves, right? That's what we've been doing. Today, they're going to give us a graph and we are going to find the equation. So they're going to give us something that's already graphed and we're going to find out what the equation is. Okay, so remember our slope-intercept equation, y equals mx plus b. That is super important. We've been doing it the last 2 or 3 classes. You need to know this equation. You have to have that memorized. Y equals mx plus b. All right, here are steps to find the equation when you're given a graph. First, you want to find the y-intercept, which is the b, the thing being added or subtracted at the end. Then we're going to find 2 points, and we're going to find the slope, the rise over the run. All right, remember slope, I don't know why I didn't write it on here, but the slope is m. That's the m in our equation. And then we're going to write that into an equation. So what I would do if I were you, I would pause the video and write this down somewhere. Write this down. If you have a cell phone, you can take a picture of it. Do something where you have this available for you. But pause the video and do that. Okay, so let's use these steps to find equations of a line. So here is what I was talking about. They gave us a line already, and we have to write it in slope-intercept form, which remember is y equals mx plus b. All right, so first things first, I want to find the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Remember, that's our up and down axis. This one here is the y, and we want to see where is it cross there at. And I see it crosses right here, and that's at -1. So our y-intercept is -1. And remember, that is b. So now I want to find 2 points and find my slope. So you see on this graph how these kind of make a grid and they all kind of make like a T, right? I want to find where a line goes right through the middle of that T. So I'm going to go up this graph until I see it goes right through that T. And I see it goes right through right there. That's a good point right there. You could also go up and I see a good point right there. I could also go up and I could see a point right there. So that's how you can find really good points that are easy to count to. Okay, so now I'm going to find my slope, which remember is my rise over my run. Rise over run. So remember the rise, like the sun rises, it's how many up or down. And the run is how many over. So I'm going to start with my y-intercept, and I'm going to go to the next point I see. So if I start with my y-intercept, how many up do I have to go? And how many over do I have to go? Well, I see I have to go up 1. I had to go up 1, and I have to go over 1, 2, 3. And I had to go over 3. So my slope is my rise over my run. My rise was 1, I went up 1, and my run is 3, I went over 3. So now that I have my slope, which is my m, and I have my y-intercept, which is my b, I can write my equation. So I'm going to write y equals It's always y equals. And now instead of m, I'm going to plug in my slope. My slope was 1/3, or 1 over 3. Slope is always attached with the x. And now I see it says plus b. My b was -1, so I'm going to write -1 to show that it's a -1. And this right here is my equation. All right, let's go do one more example. All right, here it is again. They gave us a line that was graphed. We have to put it in slope-intercept form. So remember, we have to find our y-intercept, which is our b, and we have to find our slope, which is our m. All right, y-intercept is the easiest one to find because that's just where it crosses this up and down axis. So where does it cross that line at? It crosses right here. That's at 2. So my y-intercept is 2. So now I have 1 point. I got to find another point so I can find my slope. So I'm going to go, this is a negative slope. I can see that because it's going down from left to right. So I'm going to go down until I can find a nice good point to count from, and I see one right here. It goes right through that T on that grid. I could also, if I wanted to, I could use this point. That's a good point there too. Right? Doesn't matter. You can use any two points that are on that line. I usually do the y-intercept and the one that's next to it, the next point. So we have these 2 points, and I got to find my slope. So this is a negative slope. I got to find out my rise and my run. How many down in this case, because it's negative, and how many over. So how many down and how many over? Let's see. I had to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to go down 4. So that means my slope, my rise, is -4. Now how many over do I have to go? Well, I have to go over 1. So it would be -4 over 1. So now I can write that as an equation. It'd be y equals m. M is -4 over 1. -4 over 1. M's attached with the x. And now I got to write my b. My b is 2. It's a positive 2, so I'm going to write a plus 2. So there's my equation. Y equals -4 over 1x plus 2. Sometimes you could see this written as y equals -4x plus 2. These two equations, this one and this one, mean the exact same thing. -4 over 1 and -4 have the same value. So you could see this written either way. I'll give you credit for no matter either way you write it. I'll give you credit for it. But just to know, you can see it written either way. Okay? All right, let's go on to the next example. All right, here's another example. Here's a line they gave us, and we have to find it in slope-intercept form. So that means we have to find our y-intercept, or our b, and we have to find our slope, which is our m. So first things first, let's find our y-intercept. That's the easiest one of the two to find. It's wherever it crosses this up and down axis, and I see it crosses right there, right in the middle. So right there, where the two axes intersect, that's called the origin, and that means our y-intercept is 0. So now I have to find another point to find my slope. So I'm going to go up until I see a nice point that crosses right through the T, and I see one right there. That's a good one. So I can find my slope using these 2 points. So remember, my slope is my rise over my run. And this is a positive slope. It's going up from left to right. So that means my rise is going to go up, and my run is going to go over. So I have to count how many up. 1, 2, 3. I went up 3. 1, 2, 3. And now how many over? 1, 2, 3, 4. I went over 4. So my rise is 3, that goes on top, and my run is 4. That's how many over I went, that goes on bottom. So my slope is 3 over 4. So now I can write my equation. It's y equals, now it would be 3 over 4, and slope's always attached with the x. And now I got to plug in my b, which is 0, which is plus 0. Well, sometimes you can see this written as y equals 3 over 4x with no plus 0. Because they don't write that plus 0 because when you add 0 to something, it doesn't change it. So there's no real reason to write it. Like if I had 5 and I went 5 plus 0, it's still 5, right? So sometimes I don't write that plus 0. They just leave it as y equals 3/4 x. All right? Okay, we got one more example to do together. Let's do that together. All right, here they gave us a graph, and this one actually gave us points already. That makes it a little bit easier. So first we got to find our b, right? Our b is where it crosses the y, and I see it's right here. They already had it on there, and that is 4. So my b is 4. So now I got to find my slope, and I have to do that when I have to find 2 points. Well, they already gave me 2 points, so I really don't have to find any here, but let's go ahead and count our slope. So this is a negative slope. It's going down from left to right. It's going down from left to right, so this is a negative slope. So that means I have to see how many down I have to go and how many over. So let's see here. I had to go down 1 line. I had to go down 1. And how many over did I have to go? 1, 2, 3. I had to go over 3. So my slope is always written as a fraction. I had to go down 1. That's going to go on top. And since I went down, that means it's a negative 1. And I had to go over 3, so that goes in the bottom. Remember, rise over run. So my slope is negative 1 over 3. So what's my equation? Well, my equation is y equals, it's always going to start with y equals. And now my slope, my m, goes next, negative 1 over 3. Slope is always attached with the x. And now I have to write my b. And my b was 4. It's a positive 4, so I put a plus 4. All right, so that is how you find an equation when you're given a graph. When you're given a line that's already there and they say, what's the equation? That's how you do it. Start with your y-intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis, this up and down axis. And then you got to find 2 points and find your slope. After that, you just plug it into the equation and you are done. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to go to Google Classroom, and under Unit 5 functions, which is the very top thing, this thing will pop up here in a minute, but it's going to say slope intercept to graph to equation match. All right, you're going to open that up. It's going to look something like this. All right, and then on the next slide, it's going to have some graphs. And over on the side, it's kind of hard to see on here, but over on the sides, on the left, there's equations, and on the right, there's y-intercepts, and there are slopes. So you're going to find the y-intercept, which is this first column here, for each graph. And then you're going to find the slope for each graph, and then find the equation for each graph. Okay, there are 2 different slides for that. There's 3 to do on the first slide and 4 to do on the second slide. If you have trouble with this and you need help, please come to Win Time tomorrow and I will help you. Okay, so finish that Google Classroom activity. It's on Google Classroom. It'll be posted in a second. When you are done, that is it for today for our class. You can start working on your homework if you would like. That is also posted on Google Classroom. I can show you guys. It's right here under homework, and it's due February 1st. All right, and it's got both things there, the Ed Puzzle and the Go Formative. And then remember that is due Monday. All right, I'm always here during Win Time if you guys need any additional help, and I will see you next class.